Hi, my name is Autumn Payne. I'm a visual journalist and here today again with Stephen Walker. He's a therapist at Middle Way Health and also a Buddhist teacher. And he combines Western philosophy with Eastern philosophy with Western psychology. And
I
this isn't
combine Western philosophy too.
Western. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Eastern
Western
Western, yeah.
philosophy.
I was a
Yes.
philosophy major,
Yeah,
so
East
you can
meets
do it.
West.
Yeah.
So
Okay, East, West.
we have a very East meets West discussion today,
Okay.
actually. I wanted to talk today about everyday mindfulness.
Mhm.
And you have a class that just started up on Tuesdays for everyday mindfulness. Though you are a Buddhist teacher, this is not a religious class. This is about using everyday mindfulness for anyone, religious or not.
Mhm.
So I was wondering if you could give us like an overview of what everyday mindfulness is and, um, the 15-minute version of that.
Okay.
How people can use it. Mhm.
It's a drop-in. The group itself is a drop-in group. The group I'm doing the Tuesdays, and we're just drawing from all the relevant information and traditions that could apply to what we're calling everyday mindfulness. So that's scientific and psychological and social, and it includes Buddhist meditative insights too, but we're putting those on like an equal plane so that we're not necessarily prioritizing anything. So the priority really is to investigate and to discover our own lived experience. So when we say every day, I mean that we're not trying to get to a higher state or a lower state. We're investigating and appreciating and being present to our actual lived experience that's happening continuously and on an everyday level. So we're not
So,
after peak experiences as much as we're into having a full life, a full experience um, that isn't totally uh, taken over by either scientific or psychological or religious metaphysical viewpoints. We're here to look at our lives together.
mhm. Well, I could say from personal experience that learning about mindfulness from you has created a lot more um, just joy and peace in my everyday experience, like literally just hanging out with the kids after work doing nothing. You feel this great amount of joy, whereas before I kind of saved my joy for those peak experiences,
Mm-hmm.
like going out of town or going somewhere really beautiful or whatever. Like that was the joy, right? So how does one start to cultivate that? Like we have people here who maybe could attend the group in person. This is not an online course, but maybe for the people that are watching that are not local, how would you get started with learning everyday mindfulness?
Actually, if people can set aside time and space, it starts there.
Mm.
So, I mean, there is reading and learning and podcasts and this, but uh, really, we have to have an initial uh, interest that's followed by saying, okay, I'm going to be present to myself in a friendly way, uh, not in first by doing nothing.
Hmm.
So
That's a
generally,
hard
this
ask.
culture. So generally in this culture, it's always like using a lot of times mindfulness to get better at what we're already doing, or get better at maintaining our speed, or get better at not messing up while our lives are very speedy and hectic.
I think he just went out there. Maybe a phone call. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, I can't. Oh, hold on. Back up. Back up. I got you on mute here. Your mic is muted. Hey, hello. Can you go have him unmute his mic real
Oh,
quick? Oh,
can
there
you
it
hear?
is. Now I can hear you. Yeah, if you could back up just a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, since we're doing this live on a phone, I get calls all the time, and it seems that there's no way to block those out.
There he is. I need to silence those. I'm
Oh,
so
oh,
sorry.
okay.
Next
Yeah.
time.
All right. Next time. Thanks.
I'll put
I'm
it
not
on a
real.
checklist.
I'm not real techie, but I'm open. I'm open to learning.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Yeah. So actually, it starts with a willingness to be our best friend.
Hmm. That could be hard for some people. Some
Yeah, it
people
is hard.
are good with each other and or themselves.
There's a lot behind that.
Yeah.
Well, I said a willingness, not necessarily that we are.
Mhm.
So the model for me is if you have a good friend on the outside, and that friend wants to talk to you, you're going to be listening yourself, and you're going to be, somewhat quiet and still because that person has something really
Mm.
important. You're not just going to say, well, follow me around the house while you talk to me, or um, something like that. You're at first you're just going to sit still and listen.
Mhm.
So generally mindfulness will start uh, with some quiet. Now we also do walking meditation, so we do integrate movement, but it's hard to hear. It's hard to hear ourselves talking to ourselves while we're moving at first.
Mhm. Yeah. Because there's so many things going on at once,
Right.
even just taking a step.
Yeah. So when you're moving, a lot of times, whether it's just walking meditation or bicycling or swimming or exercising, it actually takes so much mental energy to do it that our thoughts tend to, and our emotions tend to take a back seat.
Mhm.
So that's why some people report, I just do so much better when I move. And that's true from that point of view. But to really make friends with a lot of our speedy thoughts, a lot of our thoughts that are harmful or negative, we have to just sit and listen first and be
Mhm.
present and send ourselves some compassion and loving kindness. So mindfulness doesn't mean figuring things out. Mindfulness means uh, being present in a friendly way to our experience and being friendly to others.
Now, another thing I've heard, and I actually thought this myself before meditation too, is that meditation is about stopping our thoughts.
Well, good luck with that. Well, or, as I like to say, well, that's why we do drugs.
Oh,
Okay.
to stop our thoughts?
Yeah, people do a lot of different things to, just stop,
Mhm.
or try to banish their thoughts,
Mhm. Yeah.
exile their thoughts. Like, I just want to get rid of that. Well, actually, you can't get rid of thoughts and emotions that way.
Mhm.
You have to learn how to work with them and digest them. Use my um, digestion model. It's like you've already swallowed and eaten your emotions and thoughts,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
and actually you can't regurgitate them. You have to process them.
Mhm.
So uh, and I'm aware that most people do have to maybe go through a stage where they do thought blocking or attempts to banish thoughts and feelings, but that's what we're doing in daily life anyway, which is creating problems.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you heard it straight from a Buddhist
Yeah.
teacher here that
Yeah.
meditation is not
Yeah.
about stopping your
Yeah.
thoughts. It's
Right.
about making friends with yourself and working with your thoughts and feelings.
We should
Um,
tell the people in the background that we can banish them, however, because you have people walking behind you. So
yes, lovely people that we
yeah,
adore.
lovely people, but so it is permissible to say I want to start with a quiet place with without a lot of outside interruptions.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
because it's very challenging to try to be present and really listen when there's a lot of outside distraction.
That's true. Yeah.
So we want to start where we are. We don't want to say, okay, I'm going to meditate while running in a noisy environment. That can be harder.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, people a lot of times will make exercise, they say their exercise or whatever activity is a meditation for them.
It is a form of meditation, definitely.
Mhm.
It can be, so meditation is just like saying exercise or health, So there are different levels of mindfulness. Like, we are going to be mindful and grow by paying attention to how we use our bodies and move in space, which is enormously important.
Mhm.
But generally, when we're doing a lot of movement where we have to accomplish something, uh, definitely emotions are not going to be foreground. We can be aware of them, but if you really want to listen to a friend, it's easier just to sit still with them for a moment. And then when you get the gist of it, then you can do kind of walk and talk.
Yeah, that's a little more advanced,
Yeah.
right?
It is a
Yeah.
little bit more advanced because the subtle thoughts and emotions tend to um, go off to the side,
Mhm.
and the ones that are a little slippery. So,
Mhm.
self-judging thoughts and negative thoughts and emotions of shame and disappointment, um, they're kind of slippery,
Mhm.
to use that metaphor. So we have to generally be a little bit quiet and still, for them to come into view like that. Because
That
generally we
makes
want to push
sense.
them out of the way like that.
Right.
So there are
Yeah.
different levels of mindfulness or attention that help us feel alive at different levels. And we definitely want to feel alive and vibrant and meaningful. And
Mhm.
so when we say mindfulness meditation, it isn't all sitting or walking. It also entails mindful dreaming.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something we can get into at some point.
That would be an interesting one.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
lucid dreaming. Yeah. Mhm.
But I do love the visual or the metaphor of, like, sitting down and listening to yourself as if you were
Yeah.
talking with a friend,
Yeah.
Actually
Yeah.
had a friend of mine that we used to say this to each other because we'd always have negative self-talk, but we'd say, "Well, if you can't do it for yourself, do it for me." So when I visualize my best friend, you treat yourself the same with the same respect you would your best friend, then that makes a lot of sense when you're first starting. Mhm.
One of the most difficult things uh, is how to tolerate when people aren't listening to us. And on top of that, not trying to understand us. So
Mhm.
that really, we don't, if I said, hey, do you want to meet someone? They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to understand. And they're just going to talk about themselves the whole time. How's that sound? So
Doesn't sound fun.
we don't want to, we don't want to do that to ourselves. We have
Yeah.
a running tape all the time, a lot of judgments and a lot of tasks. And we want to reverse it. So we're becoming like a non-judgmental listener to start, and then when we do action, then it's effective.
Mhm. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, I've also noticed that by making friends with myself, I've actually had better friendships with other people.
Hey,
So it goes,
that's
yeah,
good.
yeah. Well, thank you so much for this
Yeah.
discussion, and
Yeah, it's a good one.
if you're in town Tuesday nights,
Yeah.
donation-based mindfulness
Yeah.
class at Lions Roar Dharma Center, not religious, 7 o'clock. If you're out of town, just keep tuning in and just make some space for yourself, but,
Good.
Elizabeth says thank you all the way from Ohio.
Oh, good. All right.
Yeah, alright. Thank
Peace.
you. Bye.
Bye.